Here we have a SAT math question. Okay, let's go to the question. A model estimates at the end of each year from 2015 to 2020, the number of squirrels in a population was 150% more than the number of squirrels in the population at the end of the previous year. So here the number of squirrels in each year is compared to the number of squirrels in the population at the end of the previous year. Since it is compared to the previous year, so clearly the given situation represents exponential function. And since the number of squirrels each year is 150% more than the number of squirrels in the population at the end of the previous year, it's an exponential growth function. Okay, and also there is another information. The model estimates that at the end of 2016 there were 180 squirrels in the population. Which of the following equations represents this model, where n is the estimate number of squirrels in the population t years after the end of 2015? Actually, they count t as the number of years after the end of 2015. That is end of 2015 is the starting point, because they count t as number of years after the end of 2015. When end of 2015 is a starting point, what should be the value of t? Since this is considered to be the starting point, the value of t, the value of t corresponding to this end of 2015 should be 0. Then end of 2016. So what is the value of t corresponding to end of 2016? So for end of 2015, we consider this is a starting point, so we have t is equal to 0. Then for end of 2016, we have t is equal to 1. Okay, now, so this is an exponential function, particularly exponential growth. Okay, let's write exponential growth function for this one. So that is n is equal to a times 1 positive r to the power t. Okay, here I've taken n on the left side because here this question is about the number of squirrels, and n represents the estimated number of squirrels. And so here n is equal to, and a is the initial value, that is so the number of squirrels we have in the beginning, that is at the end of 2015, that is not given in the question. So we have to take this a as it is, 1 positive. This r is rate of growth. The rate of growth is given, that is 150%. If I convert this 150% to decimal, I'll be getting 1.5 to the power of t. And t represents the number of years after the end of 2015. Okay, so we get n is equal to a times 1 positive 1.5 will become 2.5 to the power of t. Okay, so here, so the growth factor is 2.5. Only in option B and option D, we find this 2.5. In option A and option C, we find 1.5. So we can reject option A and option C. So either option B or option D can be correct. For that, we have to find the value of A. So if the value of A is 72, then option B is correct. If the value of A is 180, then option D has to be correct. Okay, let's find the value of A. For that, we have to plug in the values for n and t. Okay, so here n represents the estimated number of squirrels after t years. And there is an information in the question. At the end of 2016, there were 180 squirrels. That is n is equal to 180 for the year 2016. For the end of 2016. So for the end of 2016, what is the value of t? So the value of t for end of 2016 is just 1. So that is when I plug in t is equal to 1, that represents end of 2016. In that case, the value of n is 180 according to the question. Okay, now let me plug in 180 for n and 1 for t. So then I'm getting 180 is equal to a times 2.5 to the first power. Okay, so 180 equals to 2.5 to the first power is still 2.5. Then 2.5 times a can be written as 2.5 times a. Okay, now my aim is to get the value of a. For that, I have to divide both sides by 2.5. So when I divide 180 by 2.5, I'm getting 72. And here the 2.5 will cancel out. I'm getting a on the right side. Now I got the value of a. Okay, now we can plug in a is equal to 72 over here. So then I'm getting n is equal to 72 times 2.5 to the power of t. So this is the exponential function which represents the given situation. So we find n is equal to 72 times 2.5 to the power of t in option B. So the correct answer choice for this question is option B.